Hi lads, so I'll just run really quickly through all the information that you kind of need to know to be able to do these exam questions. So lads, the most important thing about these exam questions is just pulling out the key information. There's going to be loads of background information. They're trying to make all the questions real world problems, okay? So what you need to do is on your page even, just write out the key information, draw out all the triangles and put in the key information and what is the question actually asking you then. Okay, it might be a bit easier rather than reading all that background information that you don't really need to. Okay, so you need to learn how to pick out the keywords. I will run through these on Monday because a few of you seem to be struggling with a few of the questions. Okay, so I will run through these on Monday in Monday's class. Okay, so just to get started, just a few of these might come up. So an obtuse angle has a measurement greater than 90 degrees but less than 180. A reflex angle is an angle that's greater than 180 degrees but less than 360. An acute angle is an angle that has a measurement less than 90 degrees. So we know that all triangles, no matter what the shape or anything else about it, we definitely know 100% that every triangle that we ever draw is made up of 180 degrees. And then a right angle is a 90-degree angle. So a right angle is a 90-degree angle. So if you want to take any of that down, just pause the video, okay? So then I'm just going to have a look at doing Pythagoras' theorem with you then, okay? So when we use Pythagoras' theorem when we have a right angle and we have two lengths, okay? So we have to have two lengths and we're looking for the third side. That's the only time we ever use Pythagoras' theorem. Okay, we know we use Pythagoras' theorem because we generally don't know. We know the right angle, but we don't know any of the other two angles. Okay, so the only thing that we need to know is be able to pick out the hypotenuse. Okay, so here is our hypotenuse. Okay, so in log tables then we will get something similar to a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared. So we have to know that a squared is the hypotenuse, okay? So I'm just going to call hypotenuse h. So it's h squared is equal to 5 squared plus 11 squared. H squared is equal to 25 plus 1 to 1 when we put them into the calculator. 5 squared is 25 and 11 squared is 1 to 1. H squared then is equal to 146. So h then is equal to the square root of 146. Now depending on what the question asks, it might ask you to leave it in root form. It might ask you for 2 decimal places, it might ask you for 3 decimal places, okay? So if we stick that into the calculator, hit our STD button, I get h is equal to 12.083 meters, okay? So I left that to 3 decimal places, so that would depend on the question, okay? So I think we should be familiar enough with Pythagoras' theorem. It's just knowing when to use it. So we use it when we're given two lengths and we're trying to find the third, okay, when we have a right angle. So cosine, cos and tan then. So if we're looking for y, I would always write on the top of my page when I see an angle and a right angle triangle with an angle that either we know or we don't know, I'd always write on the top of my page, silly old hag cracked all her teeth on apples, okay? So if we're asked for sine here, so we need to identify all the sides of our triangle. So directly opposite the right angle then is our hypotenuse. Then we go opposite the triangle, or opposite the angle and it's opposite. And the other side then is adjacent. Okay, so if we're asked for the sine of y then is equal to opposite, so my opposite is 5 over my hypotenuse, which is root 29 there. If I'm asked for cos y is equal to adjacent, which is 2 over my hypotenuse, which is root 29. If I'm asked for tan y is equal to my opposite, which is 5 over my adjacent, which is 2. So if I'm asked to solve the angle, then I have to pick whether I use sine, cos or tan, because I'd normally only be given two sides of the triangle, so you have to decide whether to use sine, cos or tan depending on the information that we have, alright? So if we're looking for sine y then, just for example, we know that y then is equal to, when we bring it across sign across the equal sign, it becomes sine inverse. So we have a little minus 1 over 5 root 29. Y then is equal to, and you hit shift, sine 5 over, hit your fraction button, root 29, close your bracket, and it's 68.19859. So if I was asked the nearest degree there, it'd be 68 degrees. Okay, so it depends on what you're being asked. Now if I work out those two, I should get 68 degrees as well, alright? So then if we're given the angle and we're looking for a side, so again we need to identify the hypotenuse of the triangle. So if you come straight across from the right angle, there's a hypotenuse opposite our angle that we're looking at, and the other side then is the adjacent. So here we're given the we're looking for the opposite, and we're given the adjacent. So I know we're using tan. It's 10 degrees is equal to opposite, so that's x, over 13, or adjacent. So if I multiply across by 13 there to get rid of my fraction, is equal to x, and I stick that into my calculator. So 13 tan 10 equals, I'm getting 2.29 meters is equal to x. Is that okay? So if you want now, pause it and go back, okay? Then just these, so we're asked to evaluate these. This is the last thing I'm going to do. So if we just put into our calculator sine 45 equals and 0.7, cos 60, stick it in, cos 60 equals a half, 0.5, tan 66 equals 2.246. So all we're doing is putting in, and then inverse, that little minus 1 means inverse, so we have to hit shift, sine 0.2 equals, and it's 11.5 36959 degrees. Is that okay, lads? So again, depending on the question, whether to round it off. So hopefully that'll help you out. So you might need to replay that a couple of times. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you out doing those exam questions. Okay, the most important thing is picking out the key information, okay?